A nice reward after a bunch of hard work. Hello everyone and welcome to Kim's Cozy Corner. I got a lot to get done in a little bit of time, so we're going to try to move like the wind as we work on the garden this morning. It is 6:42 in the morning. I'm already about 15 minutes late. I have about 3 hours and I really want to finish the garden cleanup so I can get the last of the second round planted. So I am going to move around the garden, bounce around the garden, and try to get a lot done. I'm going to try to stay focused though, so I'm only working on one bed at a time. Before I get started though, y'all, I gotta start Pat up so Pat can get to work. I gotta do some watering. We'll water at the same time as well. There's nothing better than multitasking when you can do it anyway. So let's get the water turned on and let's get started.
Starting remote control.
You go play now. You go on and play. Okay, so you're gonna charge first, then you're gonna go play. All right, Pat, get to work. Y'all, that heat didn't stay gone very long. So you see, we didn't get back out here and do what we needed to do. So let's try to pile it up so we can clean it up. Because I'm going to add some more to it in just a minute. And yes, I am moving potatoes. These are potato pots. We're going to move them out because we're going to get those harvested sometime in the next few days. So I'm just going to get them out of the way so I got room to get around since they are done watering for this year anyway. I don't feel nothing on this container, but it sure is heavy. Let me show you something interesting. This pot right here, I was reusing the soil, right? I never get rid of all of my soil. I always reuse it, refresh it, and that kind of stuff. And so in the very bottom of this pot, y'all, there's a tomato plant that's growing out of the hole down here. Tomato plant. Of course, it's not going to make it because we're going to tear that out. Let me keep moving. And by the way, y'all, it's already extremely humid. There's no air movement. It's hot, so I will have to take a lot of breaks. All right, I've moved all of the bags over here, and there are 8 bags or pots. So 8 containers of potatoes are over here, and they all came from over here. But I need to finish sweeping this up, cleaning it up, and getting this dead tomatoes and cabbage out of here. Whew, so much better. So much better. All right, I'm gonna get over here and we're gonna keep working on these beds. We're going that way. Y'all, I'm already sweating bullets. It's not even 7 o'clock in the morning and I haven't done anything yet. All right, we're gonna start back here in the garden next to the corn. This is the back of the garden that doesn't get much attention at all. I said it, I forget it. I mean, it gets watered, like it's getting watered right now, but other than that, I pay no attention to this back corner. But there are so many weeds in here. And some of them are vining weeds. And we can't have that. Some of them are trees. And we don't want trees growing in here either. My corn germinated very well in this bed. I'm gonna bring you in close. Once I get it cleaned up a little bit, I'll bring you in so you can see what's going on. Is the drip working? Yeah, the drip's working. All right, let me finish cleaning up over in here and I'll show you how pretty the corn looks. Y'all, it's so warm, my glass is fogging up. Moving over to this bed. I got my 2 beds of corn cleaned up. I'm actually using Garden Tone as the fertilizer because I am out of my Dr. Earth, but it's still an organic fertilizer. I'm gonna go try to pick some up today because I am running low, and I do mean very low. I've also discovered that these 2 beds are not getting watered very well. So when I come across and I'm hand watering, I'm gonna go ahead and water these 2 beds just a little bit when I'm hand watering, just to give it just a little bit more. I believe it's just because it's kind of at the end of the line for my sprinkler system, so it's not getting as much pressure and it's not pushing as much water here. But that's okay, because I'll spray it by hand. As a matter of fact, let's go do that now. Figure out where I left my hose so I don't forget to do it. Sprinklers and a hose running at the same time, I'm not going to get much. All right, let me turn the sprinklers off just for a second. There we go. I don't want to stand here for 10 minutes trying to water 1 bed. But since I put this fertilizer down, we definitely don't want it just sitting on top like that without it being watered in. Oh, I missed a weed. Missed another and another. Good Lord. Did I even clean the area out? In this bed, I have corn in the back. And in front of the corn, I got another weed. Lord, have mercy. Another weed. All right, growing up with the corn, I had weeds, but I think I got them all now, hopefully. In front of the corn and just to the side over there, I have shelling peas. And in the very front, I got a couple onion right here. And I have Brussels sprouts right here. And this bed is 100% corn and weeds. Just want to make sure this bed gets a deep watering. All right, y'all. The first 3 beds for the day are done. Y'all, we doing good. We're doing really good. These 2 are done. They're fertilized and they're watered in. And my rhubarb over here, which I've done nothing with this year, is watered in. I have 1 squash plant that's not looking happy back here. I put some fertilizer on that, but y'all, 3 beds done. Let's keep going that way. At least get that bed. Y'all, we got another bed done, and this one actually wasn't that bad. Wasn't that bad at all. The onion are doing really well in the front. There weren't many weeds in the onion. The broccoli, I've cut back the bad parts so I can get side shoots, and that's really the only part of this bed that I worked on. And I went ahead and fertilized and watered as well. But I got ready to do the back part of this bed, y'all, and guess what? I'm gonna try my best to get you in here. But I saw 1 potato above the ground, so I went to grab some dirt to cover that potato, and then there was another potato and another potato and another potato. So I turned off the irrigation to this bed right here. We're going to have to hand water the front, and I'm grabbing some loose soil to cover up anything that's above ground over here. These potatoes are ready. I am not going to wait for them to die all the way back, but I still need to find time to actually get over here and do it because that wasn't my plan. This bed of potatoes was not my plan. I do have one I plan on doing in a very near future, so you'll be seeing it on a video soon. But now I got to tie this one in as well. This bed is now cleaned up and fertilized. We lost 1 more tomato plant over here that I didn't even know we had lost. It was a Cherokee purple that got shaded out. But everything else over here looks pretty good. These are much smaller than my tomato plants over there. And I believe it's because this area doesn't get any morning sun, because I'm in the shade right now and it's 8:42 in the morning and I'm in the shade. But I do get midday sun and then I don't get a lot of evening sun. So this bed doesn't get as much sun as the other tomato beds, but they're still producing. I've already picked 3 or 4 tomatoes from this area right here, and I have plenty of big mamas in here. I've picked so far a Paul Robeson and a black creme earlier. So I think we're going to be okay. Plus we got tomatoes in so many other places. I also had onion back here. I've put onion back here every year for probably 4 or 5 years, and they never do well. And I think it's because of that sun issue that I was just telling you about. So we will harvest whatever little bitty onions we can, not today, another day. And then we will make a note not to put these back here again. I put leeks back here 3 years ago and they did really, really well. The leeks did. So maybe this little short area is for leeks only in the future, or something short and green. You never know, but not a root plant. It's just anything that needs a lot of sun. This isn't the place for it. This bed's done. On the back side, I have my squash. I pulled one out. It looked horrible. And all the rest of them I cleaned up a little bit. And this plant right here, I don't think is going to make it either. So when I'm ready to sow more seeds for that succession planting, I don't see like squash vine borers or anything like that over here. So I'm probably going to plant 2 more squash seeds in here, because if this one doesn't make it, pull it out. I got 2 more ready to go. But this bed is done. That's what I heard. I thought I heard something fall and it was a pepper that fell. We will just sit it right here for now. In my GreenStalk vertical planter here, y'all, this is my pride and joy this year. I went ahead and did my mid-season fertilizing for this planter. I put granular fertilizer in every pocket, mixed it in real good, and then I watered it in. And I'm going to do the exact same thing to my tomato planter over there. It needs some more cleaning up. So that's where we're going next. And so y'all, I'm in the shade, and guess what? We are going to be in the shade because it's hot. And it's early in the morning and it's hot, but I want to clean this planter up and then we might take a break, y'all. I'm starting to feel better. Like, even the best gardeners can't keep everything weed free. And I show you everything. I show you the good and the bad. And I got tomatoes over here that I'm not ready to harvest. But I show you everything, the good and the bad. And right now there's a lot of bad because I went a whole month without working in my garden, and I shouldn't have done that. But I did. It was hot, or it was raining, or it was hot and raining. Anyway, I'm just taking little handfuls of this fertilizer and I'm dropping some in every pocket. I'm trying not to drop it on the ground, but drop it in every pocket and just give it a light toss on top. That is going to be our mid-season fertilizing for these plants. Some really nice tomatoes on some of these, as you can see right here. And of course, bush steak is that tomato. Just going to work my way around doing this step and getting rid of any diseased limbs that I missed last week when I was over here working on it. Here's that new big dwarf that has absolutely nothing but dead leaves on it. I'm pulling it out, y'all. I'm like, why do I keep doing it? I know it's not going to produce. It's just sucking up nutrition for nothing. New big dwarf. Same kind of plant I get every year that dies and never gives me any fruit. It's gone now. We will not be planting that one in the future. Germination is always good on them, but that's about it. I've gotten no fruit. Or the 1 or 2 that I did get, they looked hideous and all disease-like. So yeah, we're done with the new big dwarf. Purple heart just came out. So we're gonna have quite a few empty pockets over here. What do we want to put in, y'all? Do we just leave them empty? Or do we add something to it? Tell me what you think. Sweet Scarlet is out. Okay, y'all, we're over here. I've already fertilized each pocket of this tomato planter. I'm going to start by filling up the top wet reservoir. And then, since I put fertilizer in each pocket, I am going to water each pocket. And then, y'all, I'm going to take a break. There's a lot of yellowing on here. So I'm hoping the fertilizer will help with that yellowing. See, there's a lot of yellow right here. I don't have any tomatoes on that yellow plant. Oh, no wonder. It's a big dwarf. I should have known. I should have known, that's why I wasn't. It looks like I grew a lot of those big dwarfs. A lot more than I should have. I should have pulled it out. We'll pull it out next time. The plant gives me nice, big, thick stems. They grow vigorously, and then they turn yellow and die and never give me any fruit. I see little beans over here. So maybe within 7 days or so, we'll be harvesting these beans from this bed right here. These peppers are looking great. I'm not going to fertilize, but I'm here, so I might as well water them, right? All right, y'all. It is time for a break. I will bring you back and let you know what we're going to get into next. I haven't quite decided what that's going to be, but that's going to be after the break. Okay, I'm back, and the break is over. The rain is over because it rained later in the day, and this is the next day. So we're going to have to finish up out here today. Ran out of time yesterday when that little rainstorm came through, but we really needed that rain, so I'm not going to be mad about that. But we have 2 more beds to clean up, and then we have a small harvest to do. So it shouldn't take us much longer. And I'm going to get a little help with harvesting. So that'll definitely speed it up for us. I have one tomato plant back here that was a volunteer that I've been trellising on this system here. It's got a ton of blooms on it. I wonder what we're going to get. Like when you have a volunteer tomato plant and you know you got tons and tons of tomatoes and you don't know which one it is, it's kind of like that potato surprise that you get when you harvest potatoes. And if it's a hybrid, you definitely don't have a clue what you're going to get. I look forward to that when they finally start to set up. And there are tons of blooms on here. So we'll wait and see what we're going to get. But nonetheless, let me keep going. I'll bring you back as I've been doing once I get this bed cleaned up, or if I have one of those earth-shattering thoughts that I feel like I need to share with you. I love having these garden chats with you while I'm out here, so I don't feel like I'm out here alone. I feel like you're out here with me. Sometimes I lose track of time when we have our conversations. So I am continuing to move down this bed. Somebody told me that this might be green amaranth. Can somebody identify this plant for me? Is this really green amaranth that I got growing all over my garden wild? Or what kind of plant this is, if you've ever seen it before, because it grows wild in my garden. And I've just been pulling it up and it keeps coming back everywhere all over my garden. So if you can identify that, great. But until then, I'm going to keep pulling it up. I mean, look at the roots of that thing. It gets massive. Between this and that Virginia creeper, those are probably the 2 plants that I'm always working on and have to keep working on to keep them out the garden. Okay, y'all, I have this area cleaned up, and I got in here before those Virginia creepers took over again. So I got it nice and clean. I'm gonna bring you in close to see how this bed is clean all around to the other side. And then we're gonna do 2 more things. All of the grass is out of this bed. Everything you see in there is either a flower or a vegetable of some kind. Now the onions have room to grow. Some of them are not going to grow anymore because the necks are all bent over, but the rest of them should be okay. I didn't give them a haircut. I might give them a haircut before I finish up today. Moving on around here, you can actually see marigolds instead of weeds over here. And then those 4 tomato plants growing up, I trimmed them up as well. Coming on around to this side, these are all flowers over here of some kind. Cleaned it up as well. And guess what, y'all? It's already in the wheelbarrow. I don't have to worry about picking it up off the ground because Charlie's already done it for me. I also took care of this bed right beside it. Marigolds on the end. I have cabbage, and there's still, half a dozen cabbage over here that are doing halfway decent. Cleaned those up. And I've already fertilized this bed as well. It didn't need much, so I just took care of it without you, but I'm bringing you to see the final product. We are going to move over to these 2 green stalks, and as I'm cleaning them up, I'm going to need to harvest as well. I was thinking while I'm over here cleaning up this green stalk and harvesting from this green stalk, anywhere I got an empty pocket, I might as well go ahead and replant that pocket all in the same step. Whoo, y'all. Dirt means hard work, and I am dirty. That rain that came in yesterday made everything kind of a muddy mess out here, but I appreciate the rain because it's been a minute since we had some good rain, so I appreciate it. So we will just start on the bottom here and work our way around, cleaning up the tomato plants. I've already cleaned up my shears. I'll get this one cleaned up and bring you back and tell you what I took out and what I put in. I think that's a peanut in there. Yep, peanut that was trying to take root. Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Squirrel. Okay, Marconi, I see you. You don't look so happy though. Let's replant you. I don't like that. Yeah, we're going to just replant you. No worms whatsoever. So we are still in good shape. No worms, no worms. But I have mushrooms over here too. So somebody said mushrooms mean you have good soil. So I'm going to assume I have good soil. But I also have soil that needs to be fertilized because these vines look horrible. They are dying. And either they're dying because too much water, not enough water, or they really need some nutrition. I'm not going to water, not at the moment anyway, but we will give it some nutrition. Some broccoli. This was cabbage that I harvested already. Let's try to get it to the root here. I just made the root flush. The root is just flush to the soil, so I can replant that pocket. Here's the other one. I knew there was another one in here. We get a tomato harvest here in just a second. I think I've done everything. Let's harvest those tomatoes. And then after we harvest, so we're going to get a tomato harvest right now. And then I'm going to rip this out. And then we are going to fertilize. And after we fertilize, we're going to replant some pockets. And this orange hat has been going, I'm sorry. It's been going since like December, y'all. It's July. It produced for 6 months. It started indoors in my indoor grow space. Once I brought it outside, it continued to grow and provide tomatoes for us. There are my handful of garden snacks of orange hat micro dwarf tomatoes. Now that we got the GreenStalk all cleaned up, ready to go, we are going to put in a few items. We are going to put in 3 different types of micro dwarf tomatoes. We're going to put in Tiny Tim, Orange Hat, and this one that I cannot, Gourmandiz, I can't pronounce it. Here it is. So 1 orange, 1 yellow, and 1 red tomato. We're going to put in, I have 1 spot that I'm going to put some yellow squash in. We're going to put the butter dish in. I'm already growing zucchini in another GreenStalk, so we're going to grow some yellow summer squash in this one. And then where I have some cucumbers that aren't looking so hot, we are going to plant another cucumber just to the side of it, just in case if I have to cut these out, we'll have another one getting ready to start up. So let me get to that and we will keep right on moving. So while I'm working on this last GreenStalk, getting it all cleaned up and fertilized, Mom's out here, she's gonna help me out by picking anything that needs to be harvested, like cucumbers and zucchini and beans and tomatoes, whatever needs to be picked, she's gonna take care of that for us while I'm working on that last GreenStalk. This way I'm not out here all day. And of course, I'm gonna bring you back and show you everything that we harvest. But there's some more over here. These Wisconsin SMRs just do amazing. Where's my basket for you? So we are over to the last GreenStalk, and this GreenStalk is so yellow, and I believe it needs fertilizer or something, but it also has some really nice, and I do mean nice, zucchini. So let's harvest first. There's a zucchini off of a squash plant that's growing in my GreenStalk. So there's one, and there's one more. Here's the other one, two squash. I'm gonna go ahead and cut back some of the dead pieces while I'm over here working on this one. I like to keep it cleaned up if I can. I think this is one of the best harvests I've gotten on a GreenStalk when it comes to squash. Nice, beautiful, and I do mean beautiful. Look at that, y'all. Look at that. That's cucumbers coming in, y'all. This GreenStalk has such a variety of plants, and I love it. Oh, goodness. I almost missed it. Look. Silver slicer cucumber on top of the squash that we got here. Anyway, I love the variety coming off of this, just showing you all the different things that you can grow at the same time in a GreenStalk. There's also some hot peppers down here. We're not picking those today. I don't want to get those mixed up with the sweet peppers that I do plan on picking. Right here, I do have some melons growing up here. I thought I saw a melon on here somewhere, but I don't see it at the moment. But it'll be great. I think I've only gotten like 2 or 3 melons in all of the years that I've ever planted them in my GreenStalk. So we are trying again this year, and I'm feeling super confident this year. And I also have up here in the very top, I'm gonna bring you in close to show you everything. There is still, I think that's a cabbage growing, and it looks healthy. It looks really good. It's not dying back and all scorched up like everything else. But I do have an empty pocket here. We will take care of that empty pocket. All of these blooms, and the little bees are buzzing by my head, which is a good thing because that means they are pollinating all these little blooms, and that's what we want. Now, sometimes you have tons of blooms, but you don't have any fruit. And that means that your plant, oh, another silver slicer. Look at that, another one, it was hiding. But if you got tons of blooms and no fruit, that means that your plant's putting all male, usually it means that you're getting all male blooms versus female blooms. And you need both because your little bee is going to go from the male bloom and it's going to go over to the female bloom, and boom, now you got a pollinated cucumber, squash, whatever the plant is. You can hand pollinate if you need to, and that's just taking a Q-tip or a paintbrush or something to go from the male bloom to the female bloom, and now you've done the pollinating yourself. To avoid that, one of the things that I like to do is, well, I like to do it now, I haven't always liked to do it, is plant as many flowers, blooming flowers, that kind of stuff to bring the pollinators in, and then they're just going to work. I mean, there's probably hundreds of bees around me. None of them are bothering me. None of them are attacking me because they want all of the pollen that's in all of these flowers. And I'm giving them plenty of options for pollen. Now, this was the last GreenStalk that I planted, but I'm going to go ahead and give it that mid-season fertilizing like I'm going to give everything else. I think I got an eggplant down here somewhere too. Yes, there's a little eggplant coming in. All right, y'all, I think I got it. But where was that empty pocket? Because I want to get back to that empty pocket. Oh, I need to fertilize first. So we're going to add our fertilizer in here. to the pockets I can get to anyway. And y'all, I'm at the tail end of fertilizer. I don't have hardly any left. And I mean, it's scarce fertilizer is right now. I need to go get some more. And y'all, I gotta get over to the neighbors. I haven't spent any time at the neighbors, just trying to get my garden back on track. But I need to also go work on the neighbors too. I got some more vegetables over here I harvested. There was some stuff on this planter. Cucumbers too. All right, we got the last one cleaned up. Let me tell you what I put in it. I put in some of these cucumbers right here. And I put in some Wisconsin SMR, favorite cucumber, perfect for canning, making bread and butter pickles and that kind of stuff. I also put in Costata Romanesco. And what else? I think that's it. I think that's all that I put. There weren't that many open spaces in here, and you saw everything I got harvested. Fertilized it in real good. So let me show you how it looks. But it doesn't look much different today. But wait till these leaves start turning that deep dark green again, now that they're happy again. But let me show you. So you see how yellow the leaves are right there? And hopefully now that it's completely fertilized and looking good again, it'll turn green again. I did add, like I said, some more squash to the bottom. Oh, I missed a few leaves. I should have cut those back, but I didn't. See how yellow those are? So let's keep a watch out on these and see if they green back up. Now let's run over and take a look at all of those vegetables that my mom harvested for me while I was busy working over here. Whew, y'all, what a long 2 days. But y'all, we finally got it done. We have cleaned every bed now. In 2 weeks, we got every bed cleaned up and fertilized for mid-season. We got all of our green stalks fertilized as well. And I was able to get a small, well, a decent sized harvest. I'm all sweaty. A decent sized harvest as well today. So I ended up getting, well, Mom ended up getting a cabbage here, which we'll enjoy. And I think I have one more left inside. So we'll have 2 cabbages to enjoy. We got zucchini, and you saw me picking the zucchini. Cucumbers, we had cucumbers from a couple different places. We have a few yellow beans and green beans, as well as rattlesnake beans. These rattlesnake beans are huge, y'all. A few bell peppers, or sweet peppers, I should say, not necessarily bell, but sweet. I got one opalka or something like that. This is a paste-style tomato and a few cherry-style tomatoes. This is a decent haul and a good way to reward myself after all of the hard work over the last 2 days in the garden. So here are the weights right here beside me of everything that we harvested today. Now, some of the stuff we harvested, we didn't have a choice because I accidentally knocked it off the trellis, but that's okay. We harvested it anyway. The weights will continue to come in for the season. You'll get to see everything that's going on. We'll keep adding those weights up. But this garden is providing for us. We are growing our own food, and we're growing all of our own food. We're not buying that stuff from the grocery store, and I know y'all get tired of me saying that, but we're not. Anyway, if you enjoyed this 2 days of cleaning up the garden, please let me know by liking the video and consider subscribing to the channel. Until next time, and I hope there will be a next time that you decide to hang out at Kim's Cozy Corner with me. Bye.